Recovery protocol number 5 is going to be rest and sleep. Now, we talked about this before. It's very important. The Prophet ﷺ would take short naps and would balance his worship with rest, which demonstrates the importance of sleep and rest. And so the qaylula, the midday nap, is indeed a recommended sunnah. However, even if that's not possible for you or it's not something that you consistently necessarily want to do, you also need to remember that there are authentic hadiths when some of the Sahaba were doing excessive qiyam al-layl and falling short of fulfilling the rights of their body, even though they had the most noble intentions, which was to pray qiyam al-layl. The Prophet ﷺ told them to pray some of the nights but sleep some of the nights because the body has a right on you. And of course, you can see Sahih al-Bukhari, 1975. There's multiple, and I'll even read it in a second. But remember that quality sleep improves your recovery, and improves your memory, and improves your energy levels. It lowers your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia, and it's essential for muscle repair, cognitive function, and hormonal balance. In addition to this, your action step is I need you to make sure you're getting 7 hours of quality sleep per night or more, or your recovery is going to suffer. Now, I know some of you guys got a million kids. Some of you guys take calls from Saudi Arabia and then have calls from, Europe in the morning. I don't know what crazy schedule you have with, mashallah, your business or your career, whatever it may be, but I know it's not always possible to get 7. Maybe you have a newborn who wakes up every 2 hours. May Allah make it easy and help you get to that 6-month mark where things get easier. But the point being, you got to make sure that you're at least prioritizing your sleep. Don't be the guy who prays Isha and then stays up till 2 a.m. at a cafe drinking coffee with his friends. That's not smart, okay? Of course, if you do that once a week or once a month, try to do it as infrequently as possible. I'm not telling you you have to change your whole life overnight. I'm just telling you, if your recovery is suffering, look at the basics first, in addition to the essentials, the extra special stuff. Of course, I want to share the special stuff with you first, but I don't want you to just be sleeping 4 hours a night and eating junk food and then do hijama and think it's going to change your life. Of course, hijama is going to help, but imagine how great it'll be when you're sleeping right and you're eating right. Your whole life's going to change. And the other reason I want to share this with you is that some of us feel guilty getting more sleep. Sometimes we see these videos on Instagram where there's a scholar and mashallah, he has good intentions because he's probably speaking to these lazy kids in their early 20s who are like sleeping until 11 a.m. and they're saying, eat less, sleep less, boom, boom. You're like, oh, sleep less. I remember one time I talked to the sheikh who's so disciplined. He's a dad, he's a sheikh, he's a professional, he's doing so many things. He's like, yeah, I got to train myself to sleep less. Like he was like almost shaming himself for sleeping too much. Like, how much do you sleep? He's like, 8 hours a night. I'm like, bro, that's healthy. That's a healthy habit. That's a blessing. Why do you have to sleep less? Oh, I need to train myself to sleep less. That's one of the benefits of Ramadan. It trains you to sleep less. Well, of course we get the extra barakah in Ramadan. We can get away with less sleep because Allah put so much barakah in it. But as a lifelong practice, we got to remember that the Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba who weren't sleeping enough that they had to get their sleep to obviously follow the practice of the Prophet ﷺ. And I'm just going to read the hadith. So narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. Allah's Messenger ﷺ said to me, "O Abdullah, have I not been informed that you fast during the day and offer prayers all the night?" Abdullah replied, "Yes, O Allah's Messenger ﷺ." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Don't do that. Fast for a few days, then give it up for a few days. Offer prayers and also sleep at night, as your body has a right on you, your wife has a right on you, and your guest has a right on you. And it is sufficient for you to fast 3 days in a month, as the reward of a good deed is multiplied 10 times. So it will be like fasting throughout the year." I insisted on fasting, and so I was given a hard instruction. I said, "O Allah's Messenger ﷺ, I have power." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Fast like the fasting of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, and do not fast more than that." I said, "How was the fasting of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam?" And he said, "Half of the year." So he would fast on alternate days. Afterwards, when Abdullah became old, he used to say, "It would have been better for me if I had accepted the permission of the Prophet ﷺ, which is to just fast 3 days a month." So this is about fasting and the sleep aspect of things. And there was, of course, another hadith with Uthman ibn Mas'ud. You can search it up. The body has a right on you. And the Prophet ﷺ even said, "You have deviated from my practice." So this really helped me because I used to feel guilty. I was like, if I don't pray tahajjud, I'm a bad Muslim. If I don't do qiyam al-layl, which, I was doing the tahajjud, where you wake up early as opposed to staying up late, right? And so I felt guilty if I wasn't doing it. I was like, I'm going to lose the blessings. And of course, if you never do it, you're falling short. But if you're sleeping 5.5 hours a night so you can pray tahajjud every single day like I was, and you're getting terrible health effects and it's messing up your bloating, everything else, you got to remember this hadith. And this is the hadith that helped me to realize that it's okay for me to sleep in some of the days, as long as I'm still making my fajr, of course, that's fard. But the extra ibadah, you can't neglect the rights of the body because Allah gave you this body and it has rights on you, so you got to fulfill those rights. So anyways, make sure you're getting your sleep. Even if you're trying to do qiyam al-layl every night, remember this hadith and be moderate. Of course, some nights you can miss some sleep to get qiyam al-layl, but try to set it up strategically where you go to bed really early, you wake up 30 minutes before fajr. If it's wintertime, it'll be easy for you to still get 7, 8, even 9 hours of sleep and still make the tahajjud and extra at the masjid and everything. But of course, in the summer, it becomes difficult, and that's where the qaylulas, getting those midday naps in, is very helpful. And I don't have the exact reference, but I just remember there was a video I saw from, a strict sheikh who uses authentic narrations and everything, and he was talking about how there was a narration that somebody saw the Prophet sleeping 1/3 of the day, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So 1/3 of the day, that's about 8 hours out of 24. And not 1/3 of the day, but like 1/3 of the whole 24-hour period, basically. Very, very helpful stuff. Make sure you get your sleep. A good Muslim takes care of the body that Allah gave him. So, or her, right? Anyways, I'll see you guys in Recovery Protocol 6, inshallah.